Hey, hello everyone.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? I hope your day is great and thank you for joining on time as we are approx end of the week. So I know things are exhausted everywhere. So welcome to day 4 and we covered a lot of ground this week and today we are getting into something that is honestly one of the you can say like trickiest part of the Scrum Master role, coaching your product owner. Not telling them what to do, not going around them, actually coach them. So today we have 45 minutes and together, and by the end, you will walk away with a real language, real scenario you can use on Monday morning. So this is the agenda for the day. Before starting with the slides, let's go with a short video. Actually, yesterday I found some issue with the audio sharing, but yeah, it is fixed with my laptop. So let's do it today. So the plan is just watch this video, and once the video will be done, share your takeaway from this video. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Let's go with it. And please confirm if there will be audio issue again here.
Ever feel like you have big dreams but no energy to
It is all good. Anyone can please thumbs up to confirm. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's good.
make them happen? You think, I'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. You want to do great things, but it feels so hard to even start. You think about writing a book, getting fit, or learning something new. But instead, you scroll on your phone or watch TV. Why does this happen? It's not because you're lazy forever, it's because the tasks feel too big. When something feels too hard, your brain says, let's do something easier. But the good news? You can fix this. Laziness isn't who you are, it's just a habit. And habits can change. Think about how often you've been stuck because the goal felt impossible. You want to save money, but the thought of cutting back on everything feels like too much. Or you want to get healthier, but the idea of running every day seems exhausting. It's not that you don't care, it's that your brain is wired to avoid pain and seek comfort, but you can outsmart your brain. Here are 3 simple steps to help you stop being lazy and start doing what matters. Step 1, make it small. Big tasks feel scary, so make them small. For example, if you want to write a book, don't think about writing 200 pages. Just write 1 sentence today. Small steps are easier and make you feel good. Think of it like climbing a mountain. You don't jump to the top, you take 1 step, then another. Do the same with your goals. Small wins add up. Here's another example. If you want to learn a new skill, like playing guitar, don't try to learn an entire song in one day. Just practice 1 chord. Over time, those small efforts turn into big results. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. Step 2, create easy routines. Don't rely on willpower. Set up routines. Willpower runs out, but routines make things automatic. For example, if you want to exercise, put your shoes by your bed. That way, when you wake up, it's easy to get started. Think of routines like training wheels. They make things easier until you can do them naturally. What's one small routine you can start today? Maybe it's writing a to-do list every morning or drinking a glass of water as soon as you wake up. These small habits create structure and help you build momentum. Step 3, use the 2-minute rule. The hardest part is starting. So, promise yourself you'll work on something for just 2 minutes. That's it. Want to read a book? Read 1 page. Want to clean your room? Start with 1 corner. Once you start, it's easier to keep going. It's like pushing a ball down a hill. The first push is hard, but after that, it rolls on its own. Here's a bonus tip. Reward yourself for starting. After you've done your 2 minutes, celebrate in a small way. Maybe it's listening to your favorite song or taking a short break. Rewards make starting feel good and motivate you to keep going. Here's the truth. Everyone starts small. The people you admire, they struggled too, but they kept going. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Think of your dreams like a fire. Right now, it's a tiny spark. Every small action you take is like adding fuel. Keep adding fuel, and soon you'll have a roaring fire. So, what will you do today to light that fire? Remember, it's okay to fail. Everyone fails. What matters is that you get back up and try again. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. So, Be kind to yourself and keep moving forward. Let's keep it simple. If you're ambitious but lazy, here's what to do. 1. Make tasks small and easy. 2. Create routines to help you. 3. Start with just 2 minutes of effort. That's it. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Pick one thing and take a small step today. Your dreams are waiting for you. Go make them happen. And remember this, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Even small efforts done regularly can create massive change. But you can't stay consistent without taking
Anyone would like to share the takeaway from this video?
Making small tasks to achieve a larger goal.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjay. So to achieve something that is like, this is the actually agenda. Anyhow, we all are aware from all these things, but the thing is we are not consistent, or we are not doing practice, or we are not be honest with ourselves. So this is the overall learning. Like, be consistent to do something. If you have something, if you have any goal, so keep that goal in front of you, be consistent, and do practice every day. Initially you have to take the small steps, like in our role in our scrum master day to day activity. We all know that we have to take the baby steps to achieve something. If we wanted to coach our product owner or our team or in the leadership, anyone, we cannot go sit and do a 1 hour session with him, because it never works. We have to take the baby step to show how these things are effective and how these things gave them the result. Hey Matthew, you are late. You missed a video we discussed right now. Okay, so now come to the slides. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, as I already told you, the topic is coaching the product owner. This is from common anti-patterns to the real coaching conversation. After discussing the slides, there are a lot of things. The scenario we will discuss as a quick hands-on. Some anti-patterns we will discuss. We will discuss about how actually the product owner should be. So at the end, I believe one of you can definitely able to relate your product owner with any of these things, because we have to be in sync with the product owner all the time to maintain the proper workflow and all the things with the team. And at the same time, we have to make sure like our product owner is doing the things in the right way. But we cannot go in front of him or her in the way like we are here to show you the right path, and we are just giving you the things that you have to do in the same way. So we have to ask the right questions at the right time to create a proper, you can say, a proper path for our team, and where we all as a team can work together. So this is the overall, I give you some short information that we are going to cover. So before identifying what the anti-patterns and the other things, first we will discuss what does a great PO look like. So there are some highlights I mentioned already. Vision should be clear. Own and articulates a compelling product vision. So the product owner the vision should be clear to the product owner. He or she is able to prioritize properly, say no more than yes, value driven backlog, must be available, present for the team to answer their question. Most of them, the time we found out, like during the review meeting, product owner not available. They created the backlog, not available to discuss the backlog items to the team. So the availability is very much important, and it is a sign of a good product owner. A product owner must be empowered, customers connected, and outcome focused. So these are the some basic quality that must be in a product owner. Now let's come on the anti-patterns of the product owner. I listed the 5 anti-patterns. There are a lot more. Definitely, I hope you will find any with your product owner, or maybe that is something new. The absent product owner, never available, delegate decisions to the team or no more. So these product owners are exist. Most of the time I find out like team lead is acting like a product owner in front of the team. Product owner is not available, delegate the all the responsibilities to the team lead, share the list of the stories and all the things, and team lead is sitting and discussing about the stakeholder requirement to the team. So these kind of product owner are in the category of the absent product owners. The micromanager product owners, who basically trying to dictate how to build, not what. So the team's creativity goes down at that time, because everything they want in their own way, how you have to do this, how you have to build it. So these kind of product owners are definitely there, to whom we have to tackle sometime. Some product owners are very much focused on the quarter plan. They come to you and they ask like, hey, let's help me to create a 3 month sprint in advance. So in such cases, we are not finding any room for the learning, because they wanted to go with the rigid plan, creating all the things. But yeah, definitely we are working with the stakeholders where requirements can come anytime, can be changed anytime. So in such ways, all the efforts he just trying to do, like created the plan and all the things, go vanished. So, but yeah, they are very much focused. Even I saw such kind of product owners where they just wanted to create all the plans in a Excel and later on just trying to convert them over the Jira. The proxy product owners has no real authority, just rely message from stakeholders. So they are working like whatever stakeholder says, they are just taking it and coming to the team. So such kind of product owners are also there. So we, as a Scrum Master, what is like, why we are discussing it here? We have to identify the ways, we have to discuss the ways to coach these product owners in the right way to achieve the right directions. The feature factory product owners, like they never measure outcome or impact. Feature need to be shipped, but what is the outcome, what is the impact, they are not going to discuss it to the team. So these are the few anti patterns of the product owner that we feel in our environment, and definitely might be you got the time to or you experience the coaching with those product owner in your own way. So these are the basic things we have to handle, might be day to day or might be anywhere during our journey. So as per these anti patterns, what to watch for? Basically, as a Scrum Master, we have to observe the things very actively to make any decision or what path we are going to follow for that person. Like the product owner who is absent all in the meetings, not coming in the, basically in the review meeting, is not joining or not discussing the backlog refinement, not attending, something like that. So sprint review most of the time is skipped, because team is working for him, team is creating the items to whose acceptance criteria is written by the product owner. So he's the only person who is kind of accept or reject or can share the real feedback with the team. Team can make scope calls, backlog not groomed properly. So these kind of problems we identified in such cases. So what is the impact for that? Team build the wrong things, because might be later on review meeting, product owner not there, and later on when he or she got time, then they find out like, okay, it is not as per the way we are expecting, and there is a new story introduced in the next sprint that is more kind of the rework that we already did, and might be if he or she present at that time, then it more or later or sooner save our time. So these kind of difficulties we are facing in such cases. With the micromanager product owners, basically they attend every stand up directly, they want to lead the stand up, asking a lot of questions, they are assigning the task directly, they are rejection, they are rejecting the solutions, they are just uh, trying to uh, trying to push the story points, like suppose team estimations different, but they just push their estimations over the team. No, it should be like that, or be the part of those conversation. So these kind of product owners are also there. So what they impacted, they are killing the psychological safety. Team is working, but they are not feeling, they are not enjoying the work, they are not like, the psychological safety totally killed in such ways. So this is the, like these I think definitely find out. If you are working on 2-3 projects, you're in one project, you will find such kind of things. Might be not today, so maybe the starting of your journey. So these kind of things are available. Proxy one, like I need to check it, or there is no authority to approve a story or something like that. Like taking the things from the stakeholders and coming to the team in the same way. No negotiation with the stakeholder, no discussion with the stakeholder, just like acting as a like stakeholder, giving the things, and they are just showing it in front of the team in the same way without doing any effort in between. So what it impacts, the basically the trust is broken and delivery impacted. The slow delivery can be occur in such cases. The next we discuss the feature proactive product owner. Like they are considering what is the success of the team. The success is the number of releases, how much releases we did. So just trying to like showcase, okay, as a product owner, I completed, I did this much now count of releases with this particular team. Or they are not considering about the matrices or anything. Their backlog all the time containing more than 200 or more than that items. So uh, there is no kind of like real value not added or not delivered in such cases. So these are the basic anti patterns, and what are the impact of that, those anti patterns we discussed here. Okay, let's discuss a case study. Uh, Basically, for an example, your product owner insisting you to locking every sprint's content for the next 12 sprint. Like he is treating the sprint planning as a quarterly project plan. So what happened? Why this this hurts, or why this kind of work structure will not going to work? So there are few things I like highlighted here. Basically, the 6 month is too long. We feel in the real situation, like we started the sprint even most of the time, like it might be definitely vary domain by domain. But yeah, like for sprint started, but during the customer call, when we are showcasing the things to the customer, like these are the things we planned as we discussed last week, and definitely we got 1-2 point of deviation there, that we have to just check how we are going to incorporate that, what are the lowest priority, and there are a lot of ways to do that, those things. So 6 month plan can never be rigid in such cases. Market change, requirement changes, as per the outcome, the need changes. So a locked plan will never work. So it will cannot kind of, it is a, you can say, the waste of time. First of all, you sit, you created 12-month plan, you are just identifying the things and all. In terms of stakeholder, this is the one scenario. Second scenario, like in terms of internal dependencies also, it is not very much clear, like the thing you are planning for the 12th sprint is too far. For the third sprint or fourth sprint, you are planning something, and currently you are on the sprint one. So you cannot assume the outcome in the best way. And what are the dependencies occur? What is the pattern of the team? How team is delivering? There are many more things we have to consider. So this will never going to be work. But we have to make sure, like how we have to coach the product owner in such cases. We have to ask the right questions to him. Not, we cannot say like why is not I will not recommend to ask why. Apart from why, you can ask what and how. Focus on what and how. Let him answer, let her answer, because as much you will be silent, you will get appropriate way to go whatever you want, or what is the right path to go there. So in such cases, like you can ask what happened if the top customer give feedback in sprint 5, then our sprint 6 will be, from the sprint 6 are all the data will be changed. So such kind of questions you can ask to the product owner. Apart from that, like inspection and adaptation is not possible in such cases, because you created the plan, so there is nothing like you completed the sprint or sprint 1, and later on what are the inspections are there, and according to do what you are going to adapt in the sprint 2. Everything is impossible in such cases, and these are the core scrum values, everyone knows it. So you can ask questions like how you will know if the feature is not delivering value. Well, how you will know if the product, if the stakeholders are not happy with the outcomes. These kind of questions you can ask to the product owner. What does the scrum guide say about the sprint content? Basically being a Scrum Master, we have to like, there is a root Scrum guide we have. So as per the like latest fashion, we are changing the way we are working with the AI and all the things, and we have to adapt the things as per the like current requirement and whatever is currently going on. But definitely the core values are coming from the Scrum guide. So if you find out like things are totally out of the track, then you have to you have to show, or you have to remind him about the Scrum guide also at the same time, like we are not on the right track and this is not the right way to do that. Instead of saying this, you must have to ask questions first. Try it, friends, because when we asking question and making the person accountable to answer who is in front of me, we are finding we are more closer to the things whatever we wanted to do at the same time. But if you are answering all the time like no no, PO, this is not the right way to do, we are killing the Scrum values, so it will not going to be work anymore. So prefer to ask questions all the time instead of answering first. Let him or her answer the things, and by asking the questions, you will like move all the communication in the direction where you want it to be it. Team loses the ownership and becomes a order taker, because they are not able to suggest the thing about as per the sprint 3, what are the changes they need in the sprint 4, what are the strategies they need to change, or might be the peer review is required, or xyz things. So team is not able to incorporate, they are losing the ownership in such ways. And stakeholder feedback has no mechanism also, because we are not considering it, we are planning, we are, because basically we are getting the contract and all the things at the starting of the project. Yeah, I know there are the plan, like quarterly deliverables are decided with the stakeholders, all the things. But we cannot say like stakeholders is also understand, they are understanding, like they are not rigid over there, as per the things, as per the technical aspects, and there are a lot of many more things. The changes are there, we cannot assume. Yeah, definitely I prefer to like plan the 2 sprints for the in the backlog, but the 6 month plan can never going to work. So in such ways, these are the points that are hurting the process, the work. And these are the some like you can say example questions that we can ask to coach our product owner, because direct coaching will not give you any impact. You cannot say like, hey product owner, just sit with me, I'm here, I'm coming here to coach you, you don't know the things to do in the right way. So this is not going to work. Better thing, like, because product owner is also a leadership role and they have their lot of things they have. So we have to identify the right way to guide them. Even if you are going to talk to the team, you have to identify the right way to talk to them. So coaching is one of the most important aspects for we Scrum Masters, and we have to learn the right way to coach the person who is in front of me. And the best technique is to write the ask question, ask right questions, and let them answerable, and let them accountability in their code. So this is the few tactics we can follow. Definitely in my resource hub, you can find out more than 50 questions of the you can use in the coaching to the different people in the organization. But yeah, we have a limited time and we can discuss only the few things here. So the major, or the you can say the most important part of the things I just highlighted here. I hope the situation and the content is clear. And team, please, can you raise a thumbs up? So I just understood like we are on the same page till now. Okay, perfect. So now there are, as I said, we will discuss about some coaching scripts and some scenarios also. We discussed one case study earlier in the previous slide. So there are some situation I mentioned, and on that situation, what is the response of the Scrum Master coaching? So let's discuss here. PO rewrites the acceptance criteria after sprint start. What is the ideal case? PO has to write the acceptance criteria when we are preparing the backlog at that time. So everything should be clear in front of the team, and team can start the work. But once the sprint is started, we have a goal commitment, and team is working to the complete team is working towards that goal. But our product owner came and he or she rewrite the acceptance criteria in between the sprint or after the sprint started. So what is the R coaching type? What is the R coaching pattern at that time? Like we can say like such kind of responses. Let's agree. Stories are logged and sprint begins. So what process can we add to DOR? Because we have to be like a on a single page, or you can say a kind of uh, agreement in between you and your product owner. Like once the stories are logged and sprint is begin, team is working towards the sprint goal. Then this is like adding the acceptance criteria in between all those things cannot be possible. So what is the process? Can we add a definition of ready? How it helps? What is definition of ready? I hope you all are aware, like definition of ready, like before starting the sprint, these are the 5, 6, 7 checklists that must be completed. So once the acceptance criteria writing is the part of the definition of ready, then this is agreed by the product owner in front of the complete team before starting the sprint. And the ownership is very much important, team, because it works all the time. You can try it. If somebody is owning something, if somebody is committing something in front of the complete team, so it is very much difficult for him or her to change the commitments later on. So what we can do, we can add it as the part of the definition of ready, DOR. But we should not say it directly. Hey, product owner, you are changing the acceptance criteria all the time after starting the sprint. This is very bad habit. I am going to add it in the definition of ready. No, this is not the way of communication, and this is not the point of coaching. What we have to do, as I said earlier, we have to ask the right question. And what is the right question here? What process can we add to DOR? Let him or her accountable. Let him or her answerable. Then it works more for you. Now come to the next situation. Give me a second. Okay. PO refuses to attend the sprint review. He might message, I'm too busy today, I'm not able to attend the sprint review, or XYZ reason. Even I saw some POs are like regularly skipping 2-3 sprint review, joining once in between just to like show, okay, I'm joining the sprint reviews, but again the 2-3 sprint reviews they are missing. So what could be the right question at that time? The team built this for you. When they don't see you, what message does that send? Let him or her answer. What message does that send? Let the PO think at that situation. So don't say, if you know the answer, you know what is the right situation, and you are definitely very much aware what is the right way to do the things. But don't say directly it to the person who is in front of you. So you can ask the such kind of questions in such cases. Next point, like PO add task directly to developer to-do list. Give me a second. Yeah. PO is adding the task directly. So what is the coaching response at that time? What impact do you think this has on team's self-organization or morale? Because this is the team's responsibility to create the subtask or the task, breaking the story into the task. PO is not a PO can suggest, definitely anyone can suggest, even being a scrum master, if you have a technical aspects or idea, you can suggest the thing to your team. But this is the wrong way, where PO is coming and directly adding, just opening the Jira and adding a task in the developer's to-do list. So we have to ask the question to the PO, like our team is not going to be more self-organized in such way. Later or sooner, they are going to depend on you, where my product owner will add the to-do list, or might be they just can think, I am creating the to-do list, I am creating the task list, but later on PO will come after 2-3 days and change my things. So why I am going to bother on the day one to create all these things? So to boost up the team morale, to make sure my team is self-organized, we have to avoid such things. This is the truth, we are aware, but we have to ask the right question to the PO for the coaching part. Once you will ask the question, you will get answer. And according to that answer, you can put your next question. And in this way, you will come on the ground. One more situation is here, like PO prioritized by what stakeholders shout loudest. During the customer call, they find out the things. Whatever stakeholders like on what statement stakeholder emphasizing a lot, PO added it in the priority list. So what is the impact here? Prioritization is not the data driven. So we have to ask the right questions. How do we make prioritization data driven? We know the prioritization is not data driven here, but how we can make it data driven, that we have to ask to the product owner. So he or she will be answerable for that. Can we create a scoring model together? Maybe what is the number one, what is the number two, and there are a lot of more ways, lot of more techniques. Even we can, product owner can ask directly to the stakeholders about the if they are adding something in between the things. So directly coming to the team and just jumping in between, we have gets this from the product owner, we have to add it, or lot of discussion starting. He or she can ask it to the product owner, like as we discussed last week, this is the plan, team started their work, what is the priority of this one, whatever you told me, and according to the answer, product owner can take the decision. So they should know about all these things, they have to act accordingly. But if my product owner is not acting as per these things, so we have to identify the right question to coach them, to get the response from them, and then we can find out the way to implement the things. So this is all about the you can say small scripts or small few questions that we can use in the different situations. So as per the situation, first of all, you have to find out what will be the right way to do, what is the right way to handle it. And your team, one more thing I just wanted to add it here. Don't take decision on just on the one case. Like, identify the pattern, observe the thing at least some few weeks regularly. For an example, PO is not coming just in one review. Might be there is really some crucial emergency in the home or something. So don't judge like immediately, or you are going in the daily scrum, you find out product owner ask some question on your day one. So don't judge him. First of all, observe the pattern, how the things is going on. Then only you will able to identify the right question what you have to ask. Otherwise, might be there is the possibility you will go in the wrong direction, and the situation is actually not in the way you are thinking it. So very first, give some time to yourself to observe the thing, to identify the pattern. Then you can think, and then you can create your strategy to coach and to identify the next action item. Oh, so there are some toolkit for the product owner coaching, SM's product owner coaching, that we can discuss here. There are some questions, some data and matrices, ceremonies, and escalation paths also. What are the powerful questions? As I mentioned earlier also, ask what and how. Avoid why. Don't ask why directly. Let him answer. Find out your things according to the answers, and you can craft your next question whatever the about from the answer of the product owner. So focus on what and how. Avoid why all the time. Don't give answer. Let PO discover. You know what is the right thing. I already covered it. You know what is the correct direction and how this problem will be solved. But don't give the answer. Let PO discover the answer. Use silence as a coaching tool. This is one of the most effective tool for the coaching. Pretend like you don't know anything. You just asking a question. You are very much eager to listen from the person who is in front of you. Friends, try it on coming Monday. If you find out any anti-pattern in your product owner, you will definitely find something awesome after the discussion. The second section is the data matrices, because we have to talk over the data also. We cannot do all the discussions verbally all the time. Come prepared with your data always. So you can show the cycle time per feature. You can discuss the business value, OKR alignments, and there are different data used in the different organization. Different OKRs are there. So accordingly, you have to always prepare with the data at the same time. If you find out something is not in the right direction, if you find out things need to be changed here, so and you are decided to coach that person. So before that, prepare yourself very well. You have to definitely sit with the person, you have to ask the right question, but you have to be prepared with the data also, because in the queue of the question and answer, there will be a place come where you have to show and discuss on the data, and that those data will be the power tool for you. You can prove your points that you are not only just verbally discussing, and you can show the your sense of thinking also, like how you are taking the things and how you are preparing for the things. Then you will find out, like your product owner, your stakeholder, or whatever peer that person will be, start taking you very seriously. The third thing, like ceremonies, you have to define the things like sprint review as PO accountability. So let him or her take the accountability of that ceremony. Don't go in the ceremony in the way where you just start and setting the stage and just doing the things. Give him the accountability and let them do the things. Backlog refinement is the co-facilitated with you and the product owner. Regular one-on-one coaching sessions. So these are the few ceremonies where you can utilize the opportunity of the coaching and define the accountability. Escalation path, like PO effectiveness chart, and you can involve leadership or scrum of a scrum, and you can offer external PO training. So these are the escalation kind of suggestions you can take. So this is overall, you can say, a toolkit for the SM's PO coaching that you can definitely try. And if you find out any anti-pattern or any kind of things which are not in the right direction. So with all these discussions, there are some key takeaways that I noted here. The number one, a great PO is empowered, available, and outcome focused, not just a backlog manager. So look at your PO and think, is all these things or all these qualities are available in that particular PO, or if anything is missing, what is the right time, what is the right question that I have to put in front of my product owner to make sure like things are going in the appropriate and the right direction. Anti-patterns are the symptoms. Coach the root cause, not the behavior. That I told you. Don't take the action immediately. Observe the pattern. Give some time to yourself to define the things, to identify the things, and then coach the root cause, uh, not the behavior. This is very much important. The number three is the quarter planner mindset. Destroy agility, because this is not possible with the we are agile and we are doing the quarterly planning and rigiding the things. This is not possible. So use powerful question to shift the thinking at that time. Your scrum master coaching is to ask, not to tell. That I repeated, I think, multiple times during this session. You have to ask, you don't have to tell. You know the answer, you know the best answer, but you don't need to tell the answer. You just have to ask question to the person who is in front of you, and you have to sit in a very curious way to build the coaching relationship. Use sprint ceremony as a natural coaching checkpoint, not just process rituals that we discussed just now. You can use the different ceremonies as a checkpoint. You can highlight some points, you can discuss on that. So don't consider it as a process rituals, and definitely the process ritual is not going to work anymore in the world of AI. So you have to utilize the right time in the right way to identify the right thing as per your demand. So all these are the takeaways for from today's session. So next wheel, you can definitely find your product owner differently. But yeah, if you find out any anti-pattern or any of these things with your peer, then you start coaching with them. So team, this is all for the day 4. Let's keep this energy moving into day 5 tomorrow. And thank you, all of you. You can drop your comments in the chat box if you have anything. Yes, Sanjay, I'll share the slides. Actually, I'm preparing a bundle of all the slides because via Gmail or via email, it is creating some issue to send. So I'm creating the bundle and I'll add it on my page and will share the link to all of you. So you can definitely download the things from there. This is not planned in our 5 days agenda, Shakira. So tomorrow we have different agenda, but yeah, there are the coaching skills and all the things. I can definitely keep it for maybe in the further sessions that I will definitely announce. Or if you have any specific things, any specific question regarding those coaching to the team or to the other persons, so you can book a session with me one-on-one, so we can discuss those parts there as well. But yeah, with these 5 days boot camp, this is not in the agenda. Team, if possible, please come on the camera so I can take a nice picture with all of you. Okay, team. So this is all for today. Thank you. We can meet tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a nice day.